Good morning, it's your Crazy Old Coot here, and today I'm going to be doing a review that I've been wanting to do for a while now on an item that I ordered on 26 July 2016, and I got it at the end of September. And I've been playing with it for a while, so I get a good feel of it. So, because there's a lot of myths about this item. And I wanted to check out, make sure none of these myths are true. And so, this is it. Ta-da. It's the Radeon RX480. More precisely, it's the Sapphire Nitro Radeon RX480 OC. Yes, it's overclocked. And it flies well. No, that's an empty box. It's been in my machine for 2 weeks. The basis of this review is basically really, been comparing it to my old Sapphire HD 7850, which is what I had in my machine. So basic thing is this premises of this review is it worth putting a really good, this is actually a mid-priced graphics card in a 4-year-old machine? And so I ran a bunch of tests, one benchmark, 4 games, old games, new games, just to give a feel of actually how much improvement do you really get by putting a good modern graphics card in an older machine, and kind of say it's worth it. Now, for me, I'll tell you right now, this machine is being phased out. That's why I bought this video card. And so, without further delay, we'll get into the nitty gritty. Well, first we'll give you a quick look. There it is, in all its LED glory. The Sapphire RX480 Nitro OC. So here we have the new card.
And I'm going to steal it.
Open it up. So there it is. Have the CD.
There's no Sapphire sticker. Missing the most important thing.
And the card. Now, because I'm taking out one Sapphire 7850 and going to another Sapphire 80 Radeon, I should be all set for drivers.
No, you won't.
Yeah, it will.
It's a completely different architecture.
Yes, but the drivers are all embedded.
Room left with CFLs.
We have the Sapphire logo, and we have the VBOS switch.
Ooh! It's got LEDs!
Yes, it's got LEDs. And an 8-pin power connector.
That is way more impressive than my BFG Tech 8800 GTS.
Dun, dun, dun. Flashing lights. So, now we get to put it in. The end of the era. The 7850 is coming out. Okay, the RX480 is loaded. 8 gigabytes of GDDR5. Okay. Okay, so let's get to the game results, okay? Basically, we ran tests on 4 games. Fallout New Vegas, Skyrim, World of Tanks, and Fractured Space. Okay, the first video of a game is with the HD 7850. The second video of the same game is the RX480. Okay, now Fallout New Vegas, now that's a real old game. It goes on the Oblivion engine. Both were basically, any little dropouts had to be CPU, because both those cards can handle Fallout New Vegas with no issues. Okay, now with Skyrim, there was some differences. The HD 7850 ran, mostly 39, upper 30s, mid 40s, depending on, jumped up to 60 sometimes. The HD 7850, I bought that to play Skyrim. Okay, basically I bought this computer to play Skyrim. Okay, upgraded my other one because my other machine couldn't handle Skyrim. Okay, now with the RX480, 60. Any little minor fluctuation is CPU related. Okay, then we got into World of Tanks, and the 7850 did pretty well. It did around 88 frames per second. The RX480 did low 90s, but I think there was some detection things, and I think the program automatically upgraded the graphics a little bit. So that was one issue, because it detected, oh, you've got a new video card. And yeah, I tried to set them back, but I probably didn't get them perfect. Fractured space. The HD 7850, upper 30s, lower 40s, mostly. The RX 480, 50 to 60-ish. Okay, so now you can view the test and see how the games played and looked. And we'll get back to you after the games.
So here are the 3D Mark Vantage. Now that's an old benchmark, but we're comparing the 7850 to the RX480. The 7850 overclocked with CPU overclocked managed 17534. The RX480 21715. Now on the graphics side, the HD 7850 got 18758, and the RX 480 did 28940. So that's a 10,000 bonus points. Now I want to talk about Wattman. Okay, now the way I've got this set up, I set it up. I've overclocked this sucker to 1340. Okay, and I bumped up the memory just a little bit to 2050. Okay, now in this setup, I had the target temperature at 75. I have since lowered that to 73. Okay, and the fan runs around 1300. Okay, so as you can see that it's pretty stable. Okay, so down in the lower left here, this is where you set up your fans, your min-max fan speed, your temperature targets. See, I've set that now to 73 with a max of 80. So when it hits 80, it starts doing drastic things to get the temperature down. Hasn't cut there yet. Now the acoustic limits is where the fan starts. So if it's below that frequency, the fans don't even spin. And this is one of the myths, because people say, oh, look, idle temperature is at 50. It's so hot. Yeah, it's hot. The damn fans aren't spinning. It's to save your damn power. Okay? And speaking of power, the power limit is important. If you're overclocking, you need to bump that over. At 50%, when I tried to run at 1340, it would bounce some. Okay? It would go to 1335, 1340, 3840, you know. It was always above 1335, but it would bounce a little. Once I moved that up to give it plus 20% on the power, it 1340 stable is a rock. Now I did try overclocking this up to 1360. It ran for about 2-3 minutes and then crashed. So somewhere between 1340 and 1360 is probably your max. Probably 1350 would probably run okay. I don't need to push it that hard. So
okay, just some final things I want to address here. The RX480 is a sweet tool. The only other myth there that I want to address is the heat issue, because people say, oh, it's hot, it runs hot. Well, you saw the graphs. Once I set that sucker to 73, I think the hottest I ever saw it peak up was 75. Now, you can nerf the damn thing, because you remember, you get your fan settings. And if you don't let that sucker spin up because of noise, then yeah, it may run hot. You set it up so it can, those fans can go as fast as they need to. She doesn't get hot, okay? It runs in the mid 70s, no problems. You saw, I mean, I ran multiple tests. I mean, that wasn't the only graph I ran. And I think the hottest I saw it, unless I purposely nerfed it or something, was like 78. Briefly. Because it wants to hit that target temperature. Now, the problems that people have with this modern card is, it's a dynamic card. Okay? It's thinking ahead. If its CPU doesn't need to run at 1340, it won't run at 1340. It will automatically throttle down because it doesn't need to. Now, if it needs to, it runs all the way up to the max and it'll stay there. Okay? Same with temperature. It's dynamic. It's shooting for a target. If it gets hot, the fans are going to run up higher for a little bit until it cools down. Once it cools down, the fans back off. It's a dynamic card. Okay? Now, if you lock it into stuff Yeah, you can make it look like it runs hot. You can make it look like it's unstable. You can make it look like almost anything because it's a dynamic card. Okay? It's a good card. Okay? It will run things. Now, you saw me comparing it with my 7850. On paper, the RX480 is twice the card the 7850 is, okay? But you didn't see that results because I'm running it on a 4-year-old machine, okay? At 62 FX 6200, you're not going to get the full benefits of the RX 480 by any stretch of the imagination. Now, if you've got an older PC, and is it worth throwing in an RX 480? No, it's not. If you're going to keep that computer for another 2 years, buy an RX 470 4 gig, or and it's going to more than handle everything that it's a better match, CPU video card match. Or with the RX 480s and the 470s and the 1060s coming out, used prices for good GPUs, they've all dropped in price. You can pick up something used that will also fill in, So, but like I said, I'm going to be putting in, I'm buying a new case. I've already kind of picked out my case. I've already kind of picked out my monitor. I'm waiting for Zen to come out because when Zen comes out, it should have the same effect. If Zen's any good, or if it's decent, it's gonna cause prices to fall. Okay? You can buy a better CPU, whether it's an Intel or the AMD Zen. You're gonna get a better price in about 4 months. So, that's a wrap, and this is your Crazy Old Coot wishing you a good evening. Thank you.